Hey everyone, how's it going? You're watching Corky Lumpur. This is my 2.5-year-old Philips air fryer, and this is my delicious baked chicken made by the person that I'm seeing. Absolutely yummy and healthy. What has happened after 2.5 years of normal use is that the timer knob of this air fryer has decided to break. Why? Because the little plastic mount over here has decided to become brittle and just crack, as you can see over here. So the plastic mount actually grips onto this metal bit, and that's what enables you to turn the knob, much like this one over here. However, after a bunch of searching, I spent about half an hour trying to look things up. I couldn't find any replacement knob from Philips or any official way to get a replacement knob from the manufacturer at all. So what happens as a result is I can't turn this on anymore, because the way it works is that once it detects that this tray has been closed, the temperature has been set, it turns on by you turning this knob over here, which you can't because it no longer has this little plastic mount, and you can't turn it anymore. And it becomes even harder. I've tried this before, and it actually can turn it in tiny intervals if you were really patient. Like right now, you can hear a little gear sound, but then it becomes impossible for you to switch it off because the counterclockwise direction is much stiffer than the clockwise direction, and I couldn't use my fingers because it's too slippery over here. Meanwhile, Philips has an entire section on their website dedicated to how much they love the environment, how they are supporters of ESG, which is environmental socialist governance, or whatever the fuck that means. And they're making their products like this, basically disposable, because they don't sell the replacement knob over here, not that I can find from an official website. And once this thing breaks, which it will over time, you can't operate this air fryer anymore. And it's not because it electronically can't operate, right? It can operate. It's just that, again, this bit has broken off. If they had spent an extra few cents to make this bit metal, like this part over here, instead of plastic that is almost guaranteed to break, as opposed to metal which lasts forever, this thing probably wouldn't be in the state that it is right now. But keep telling people how much you love the environment. Keep telling your customers how much the environment and sustainability is important to you. And we all know that it's lying, because if you actually cared about the environment, you would actually have good build quality on your product so that they would be able to last forever. But that's not very beneficial for you now, is it, Philips? Because if you didn't make this piece of plastic over here, plastic, and you made it metal like this air fryer would be able to last much longer than 2.5 years. Now, we can't let that happen, because who's going to buy new air fryers now if they all have air fryers in their home that's lasting them for decades, the way that a lot of home appliances used to work some 30, 40, 50 years ago. Now, thank goodness I have this very sustainable credit card that I have over here that actually fits into this little slot. So I can turn it now, and you can see it actually turns on. And I can actually turn it off as well, just by leaving it here and then switching it back off. So this is the interim solution, because the person that I'm seeing has been able to locate a replacement knob from some Chinese website. I don't know if it's like a real original Philips knob, or if it's just a knockoff. I don't know if it fits or not, because it's just a trust me bro on some Chinese website that says, yeah bro, it's gonna fit your oven. Let's just see what happens when it arrives. So in the meantime, while waiting for that to ship from China, I have to use my totally sustainable metal credit card, because you totally need this as a person who doesn't work in the same profession as John Wick. You totally need a metal credit card in your life. That's totally environmentally sustainable. And in the meantime, what's really rich about all of this is not just the greenwashing and the virtue signaling and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, you have governments around the world who care so much about the environment that they want you to pay 20 cents for a plastic bag every time you go to the grocery store or some kind of retail store in the mall. They want you to pay for that. And they also want to get rid of plastic straws because that's so unenvironmentally friendly. And they want to mandate EVs the way that many countries in Europe as well as Singapore have decided to do it. They want to start banning gasoline cars as soon as 2030 because they want everyone to be driving a hybrid car or an electric car whose battery is totally not going to die after 10 years because batteries are going to last forever. It's the same way that you buy your smartphone and the battery, when it charges to 100%, it's going to last the same amount of time after you've been using that phone with the same battery for 10 years as it did the first day when you unboxed the phone from its box. Wait, what? Isn't that how batteries work? Isn't that more sustainable? Batteries last forever though, right? They hold their charge at 100% at the same rate after they're 10 years old, 20 years old, as they did on the first day that they were bought, right? These governments around the world want you to pay for all sorts of crap just to save the environment. But you know what governments are not doing? They're not looking for companies like this who design their products with this kind of build quality, which is basically equivalent to planned obsolescence, because this little plastic bit is going to become brittle, especially over time, and it will break off, as opposed to this little metal bit that's probably going to last forever, provided the electronics keep working. You probably hand this thing down to your grandkids if you wanted to. They're not looking for companies like these and then mandating them or even giving them a fine for designing products that fail in an unspectacular fashion after just a couple years of regular use. No, they're not doing that. They're doing it to you, the regular customer, the regular Joe on the street, the regular citizen. They're making you pay for all sorts of crap just because of the environment, because that's how much they care. They want you to pay more money to them in order to save the environment, but they're precious corporations, especially in countries like Singapore. No. You don't need to do anything. You can continue selling your products like this, right? And not offer any spare parts from your official channel so that grandma who doesn't know how to use a computer very well, or just an average person who doesn't read Chinese, isn't able to find some kind of Chinese website offering maybe original, maybe knockoff air fryer knobs to replace the one that's broken on your machine. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this whole thing that actually operates just fine and you're going to toss it right in the trash and go buy a new one. Because companies need your money, you know. We're not going to fine the companies for making devices that have a tiny point of failure that would literally cost them a couple of cents to prevent. Because we care about the environment. We love you so much. So keep paying those carbon taxes. Keep going for those EVs, because we're not going to make you buy gas cars anymore. We're going to ban them. Keep paying for those plastic bags. Keep drinking out of those shitty paper straws that melt after sitting about 5 minutes in your drink. Because we love you. That's it for today, and I hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.